Lil Yachty is one of the few artists that was able to survive within the 2016 SoundCloud era by earning multiple plaques and Billboard Top 10 hits. Whether it's through his catchy hooks or his blissful melodies, people always seem to gravitate towards his music. Not only this, his artistry truly elevates his career as he is known for developing popular tracks behind the scenes. This allows him to slowly earn his way into the spotlight, but due to his kindness, he utilizes his popularity to aid others' careers by developing rap groups. These groups typically have Yachty pushing newer artists into the mainstream. Sadly, these groups don't always benefit Yachty as he's gotten into altercations with some of the members, causing the group to disband, truly hurting Yachty financially and emotionally as he puts in the work to make these groups successful. So join me today as I discuss why exactly Yachty can't maintain these rap groups. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Lil Yachty's sailing team started around in 2016 and was full of rappers and producers. The members consisted of Cody Shane, Big Brother Chubba, The Good Perry, formerly known as Burberry Perry, J Bands 2 Turnt, BU, K the Yacht, and Soup. The first member Yachty became friends with was The Good Perry. They met through a party where Yachty noticed he was in the background not doing much. This caused him to go up to him and start talking to him. This is when they found out they both have the same passion for music, as Perry was a producer and Yachty was a rapper. Both then asked Perry if he does beats, in which Perry's friend next to him was trying to downplay him by saying his beats are alright. Yachty then persisted and asked Perry once more to let him hear his production. So then Perry took out his laptop and played a beat, and Yachty was instantly mesmerized by how amazing the beat was, thus allowing Yachty to discover a new talent that he wanted to work with. Which is why Yachty got his number the next day and hit him up saying they gotta work. While the two were texting, Yachty would find out that Perry was living in his car. Upon finding this out, Yachty then decided to allow Perry to live in his house and even allow Perry to wear his clothes if he needed to, ultimately paving the way for a strong relationship between the two. In fact, during a Fader documentary, Yachty would even state that he wouldn't be where he is today if it wasn't for Perry.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't have made that sound. That sound is what got me to where I am. Anything I do, he do. Anything he want, he can get. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother.
The two would go on to make numerous hit songs together, as Perry and Yachty developed tracks such as Wanna Be Us, I'm Sorry, Such Ease, and Pretty. The two would eventually form a group called the Sailing Team, as Yachty wanted him and his friends to build up their careers together. Whilst Yachty was forming his team, he decided to take all the closest friends he had and put them together, so people like K Supreme, J Bands 2 Turnt, Big Brother Chubba, BU, K the Yacht, and Soup all joined the Sailing Team. Fellow member Cody Shane would be the last to join the group after Yachty heard her track called Sad, causing him to see her potential and want to push her music out to the world. So from here, it's 2016 and Yachty has formed a team of people that are going to build each other up into the mainstream. This became apparent as Yachty would have multiple members from the Sailing Team feature on his projects like Little Boat 2, and Summer Songs 2. Some members would even appear in the music video for one of his most popular singles called Minnesota. Eventually, on July 20th, 2016, Yachty would drop his tape named Summer Songs 2, which featured the track All In, and it contained every member from the Sailing Team. This was their first big collaboration, as the song would have a verse from each artist. The track would also receive a fair amount of attention since it acquired 14.9 million views on YouTube and 9.5 million streams on Spotify. Through his superstar status, Yachty began pushing the Sailing Team throughout everywhere online, as they began appearing on multiple blog posts, were seen in Fader documentary, announced a collaborative project, and even modeled for an Urban Outfitters X Nautica photo shoot in March 2017. They would even sell their own merch through the retailer Paxson. By this point, the Sailing Team was gearing up to become a huge group within the underground. It looked like they were here to stay, and as Yachty's career kept growing, the Sailing Team would only grow along with it. Unfortunately, during the year of 2019, many fans began to notice that Yachty has slowly distanced himself away from the Sailing Team, causing many to question why Yachty stopped promoting them, as they were slowly becoming a widely known group. Well, to answer that, it's best to start on what exactly happened between Yachty and Perry. Like I mentioned before, Yachty and Perry were extremely close, as Yachty even claimed that Perry is the reason for his success. But when the albums Little Boat 2 and Nothing to Prove dropped, many Yachty fans were shocked to see that Perry's production seemingly disappeared. So it became pretty clear that something happened between the two behind the scenes, in which this became even more evident when a fan asked Yachty if him and Perry are still cool on Twitter. Yachty would then respond to the fan by saying, "Good question. It's whatever. We don't talk." Now, Yachty nor Perry would ever actually speak upon what happened between them, but many fans kept questioning what was happening. To make things even more strange, Yachty would seemingly stop talking to most of the members of the group as well, in which he would reveal what truly happened during multiple interviews.
It got to the point where I was spending so much money, like almost $1 million, trying to like create this company out of my own money.
Right.
And they didn't want it for themselves. You know, like I was getting these big magazine cover shoots, so like magazines, and taking them on tour around the world twice, getting these hotels and these big tour buses, and spending all this money on custom uniforms and video shoots, and for to like not give a f. They were just really lazy. You know what I'm saying? I saw something in everyone on some team, but it didn't work that way for everyone. Everyone didn't have the same vision I had for themselves. You can't want something from somebody who don't want it for themselves, you know? So then I had to just scale back a little bit and kind of do my own thing, you know what I'm saying?
So it became evident that Yachty was tired of trying to aid those who obviously didn't want to put in the effort for a strong career, leading Yachty to stop funding the group and focus on his own career. And in all honesty, I don't blame Yachty, because it shouldn't be up to him to micromanage everyone within the group. It's his kindness that's funding everyone so they can develop their own careers. So if they're not taking the opportunity to reach new heights within their careers, that's entirely on them. Not to mention, if Yachty's putting millions of dollars into these artists and they're choosing not to take advantage of it, then he should have the right to stop funding it so he could put the money into his music instead. Due to this occurring, one of the members within the sailing team was heavily impacted by the whole scenario, as Perry would then tell the world how hurt he was that he and Yachty weren't close anymore on the track Miss Me. As he says, "Best friend, don't let me down. Everybody, don't let me down. I got a couple of friends, who I always thought was there till the end. Leave me alone. Dude's on my phone. No, I won't call back. Don't miss me when I'm gone. If that B called back, please don't reach for my phone. Miss me when I'm gone. Miss me when I'm gone." By these lyrics, it's evident that Perry was going through it and genuinely missed his best friend. Luckily, towards the end of 2018, Yachty would post a picture of him on his Instagram story, revealing that he became cool with Perry once again. Even though Yachty split ways with the crew, he'd still be cool with another member. Him and J Band's 2 Turn are still cool within the modern day, as he still strives to work with Yachty. After all, Yachty and J Band's 2 Turn would actually work with each other on Draft Day's single, Carrie Helson /Shoutout. In fact, J Band's last official single, Dark Days, was released through Yachty's new label, Concrete Records, potentially revealing that Yachty even considered adding him to his new group, the Concrete Boys. This was further shown by official members of the Concrete Boys would then be seen showing love on his birthday post on Insta. J Bands would even be seen within the music video for Yachty's hit song called Slide, fully revealing that Yachty is still chill with J Bands. Nevertheless, the failure of the sailing team revealed that Yachty should have signed the members of the group to an official label so they could be more pressured into putting in the work. Alongside this, he would have more control over their careers as he would be earning some money from their music. Since he never did that to begin with, it prevented Yachty from doing anything but try to tell them to stop being lazy and head to the studio. So basically, to wrap things up, it was his kindness that his former group abused, which led to Yachty leaving them behind and putting his career as his main focus. Sadly, Yachty would soon realize that his kindness would get the best of him once more when he formed his next group. In his second attempt in forming a group, Yachty founded the Concrete Boys towards the end of 2023, and it consisted of Karrahbooo, DC2 Trill, Camo, and Draft Day. However, in more recent times, one of the members got kicked out due to them pulling shady maneuvers throughout their career. This artist was female Atlanta rapper Karrahbooo. Karrahbooo instantly blew up from the Concrete Boys following their off-the-radar freestyle due to a verse. This is because of the calm, nonchalant nature of her flow, which caused people to start gravitating towards her the most out of the rest. In fact, her part of their Off the Radar freestyle blew up so much that Off the Radar uploaded her solo part as a separate video. So when it came time for her next single, titled Running Late, Karrahbooo would quickly become the most notable member of the group since it swiftly gained a massive amount of attention, ultimately paving her career into the mainstream as she was gaining tons of traction just off a song and a freestyle. Which is just insane since at this point in time, she would only have 3 songs on her Spotify. But unfortunately, behind all this success wouldn't be someone who strives to reach the top of the rap game. This is because she wouldn't drop another single after Running Late until March 2024 with R.I.P. Follies. Which is severely odd, because why would she make her fans have such a long wait for music after receiving so much attention from everyone? Not to mention, her fans didn't end up rocking with the song that she did eventually drop. So what exactly happened to Karrahbooo to provide her fans with a long wait for a mediocre drop? And how does this tie into ruining her position within the Concrete Boys? To best answer these questions, it's important to look at how she met Lil Yachty. During some time in 2022, Yachty and Karrahbooo first discovered each other through mutual friends. The two would start to get closer as they kept linking up with each other. But it wasn't until she linked up with him in Texas while he was making his album, Let's Start Here, that a long-term friendship was beginning to form. Around the same time, she wanted to leave her job and wanted to improve her life. This led Yachty to kindly offer Karrahbooo a job as his assistant, to which she accepted Yachty's offer and ended up learning the music industry and how it works. But it was on one fateful day where she saw how many movies, advertisements, or voice acting roles Yachty was getting due to him being a popular artist. Karrahbooo would then develop the idea in her head that she could utilize her being a rapper into her true goal of becoming an actor. On top of this, she used to freestyle with her friends when they were younger, so her starting her rap career would be an easy talent she could learn, in which she delves deeper into this concept during an interview on Gangsta Grill's radio.
The thing that made me want to start rapping was like, I was both assistant and I was at the studio. No, we was at this little movie thing. He had to go do voiceovers for a movie he was in. And I'm like, this been in hella movies because he a rapping ass. Like, I'm finna be, like, I want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And that's literally when I started being like, I want to be a rapper. Because I was like, it can help me get to be an actress.
She then elaborated more on how she'll achieve this dream in another interview.
I want to be on Bad Girls Club and I wanted to be an actress. Still do. Probably will after, like, I rap a little. I literally am only rapping because I saw Boat doing a movie when I was his assistant. And I was like, you could just be an actor from being a rapper if you fly enough at rapping.
You think that's how that works?
That's how Boat did it.
Now, this is severely odd because if she wants to be an actor, she should set her path for a successful career by going towards being an actor. By walking down the road of music, it distracts Karrahbooo from her true goal. Alongside this, she's not creating songs for her love of music, but instead for her dream of acting. This mindset doesn't allow one to fall in love with their occupation since they're taking a detour from their true dream, causing her to feel less motivated when developing any new tracks, as well as now putting her all into her rap career, which is most likely the reason why she took a lot of time between dropping singles. What she sadly failed to realize is that Yachty took those acting gigs for fun and as a pastime he could do when he's free. He didn't look at rap as a gateway into acting. Instead, she thought the opposite and started her career through her first single, Money Counter, which dropped in October 2022. From here, Yachty would eventually fire Karrahbooo as his assistant, and the two went their separate ways. The two wouldn't interact with each other again until 2023, when Bolt wanted to create his new crew, the Concrete Boys, in which he saw Karrahbooo's song and messed with it a lot, influencing Yachty into signing Karrahbooo to the Concrete Boys, putting her on the path to success, thus allowing her to drop her first single under Concrete called Box the 40 on March 27th, 2023, to which it received a good amount of exposure, with it sitting around 2.4 million streams on Spotify. This was followed by other singles like Splash Brothers and Running Late, to which both of these songs immediately gained attention online, truly paving the way for her to take the spotlight within the Concrete Boys. Due to all the success she was receiving, Karrahbooo decides to show love towards Yachty for providing her an opportunity to chase her dreams.
I feel that he cool as hell.
Following this, Karrahbooo would appear everywhere with the Concrete Boys. Whether it was performances, interviews, or even chilling with the other members, she would always be around them. So it was only right for her and the rest of the Concrete Boys to drop a collab album on April 5th, 2024, named It's Us Volume 1. This project was publicly received pretty well, with hypebeasts even claiming that it's a great foundation for the crew to build their sound upon. Sadly, even though Karrahbooo stated how her and Lil Yachty appear to have developed a strong relationship, this is where things between the two started to take a turn for the worse. On July 27th, 2024, fans noticed that Karrahbooo wasn't with the Concrete Boys when they were performing at Broccoli Fest. This led to fans asking where's Karrahbooo all over the internet, with one person even saying, "Where's Karrahbooo? She's the face of the group," in which they weren't really wrong, as she was the most popular artist within the group other than Yachty. So showing up to a festival performance without one of their biggest stars is extremely odd. Not to mention that fans started to notice that Karrahbooo has unfollowed everyone from the Concrete Boys, Yachty himself, and anyone tied or close to both, as well as the official Concrete Boys Instagram account removing her from their bio. With all of this happening, it seemed as if they removed her from the group as a whole. Strangely, Karrahbooo started reposting fans' Instagram stories asking why she's not at the Broccoli Fest performance. This caused many to believe that her absence from the Concrete Boys was all promotion for a project she was going to drop titled Where is Karrahbooo? Despite the rumors, Karrahbooo still appeared to be going through something, as she was seen tweeting out cryptic messages, by her saying, "Existing, 2 out of 10, would not recommend," then retweeting a tweet that read, "That one friendship breakup that changed your perspective on humanity." And then she put out another tweet that said, "I really irritate myself when I let people who not even thinking about me and don't give a F about me hurt my feelings." So by these tweets, it's apparent that Karrahbooo was going through it, most likely due to the fact that she got removed from the group. Luckily, all the fans' questions would be answered when Lil Yachty went on Instagram Live to confirm the whole scenario.
I don't want to say this. I'm gonna say it one time, right? We have split ways with Karrah as far as this concrete. I have nothing to say, nothing bad to say, nothing negative to say about Karrah. I wish her the best. That's pretty much it.
Clearly, something happened behind the scenes and Yachty didn't feel a need to discuss it. But since many were asking so many questions and the rumors were spreading like wildfire, Yachty decided to publicize Karrahbooo's removal from the crew. Regardless of the situation, he still has love for her and wants her to succeed within her own career, but she can no longer be a part of Concrete. From here, the two would venture on their own separate paths and focus on making music. Well, this is what should have happened if one of them decided to take the mature route within the situation. On August 22nd, 2024, a fan would reveal that Karrahbooo told her what really happened between her and the Concrete Boys on Twitter, in which she said, "She personally told me out her mouth they kicked her out. They're all effed up people, and they were bullying her. She didn't leave. They kicked her out. Tucho was the only person that had her back, which is why she still only follows him." She then went on to state, "Bro, she walked in my job to order some biscuits, and I asked her why she left. She immediately corrected me and said, 'I didn't leave, they kicked me out,' saying they were really mean to her and bullied her a lot. She doesn't talk about it cause it won't. She seemed really hurt behind this, to be honest. Like, they really did her dirty, and I believe it, because her name was the biggest behind Yachty, if we're being real. I only started listening to him again because of her. They're haters, and I told her she'll do just fine without him. F him." This would be an insane revelation towards everyone, since it provided a better reason why they outcasted Karrahbooo. She would double down on the story as well, since Karrahbooo put out a tweet saying, "This aged well," which was a quote retweet of her tweet from the day prior that read, "I don't say too much because I know stuff going to unfold on its own." By this quote retweet, it seemingly confirmed the story that the fan tweeted out. However, allegedly bullying Karrahbooo out of the Concrete Boys is a pretty big allegation, and Yachty is still in charge of this group. So bullying a member or allowing other members to target one person for no reason isn't a good look. Which is why Yachty decided to drop a bombshell on the fans by going on Instagram Live to reveal that Karrahbooo is actually a horrible person behind the scenes.
All I ever did was help care. If you want to tell this shit, tell the whole story. Go ahead, tell people how you verbally abuse people. Alright? Don't get on here and make it seem like kicked you out. Like it's kicked you out cause bullying you. Bro, go ahead, tell people how you talk to people. How you tell my security guy, oh, you homeless, oh, you work for me, oh, you're poor, and we above you, and how you talk to people like they nothing. You talk to people like they small, like they beneath you. How you told me you gonna spit on me when you see me. Tell people how you talk to people, bro. I've been letting you do this whole thing where you act like you like a princess, and you sweet, and you know, like, oh, you just such a good girl. Bro, stop the front, bro. Internally, we have withheld your actions since the beginning of me giving you this career. What are we talking about, bro?
He then went on to explain how he writes songs and dresses Karrahbooo.
I dressed you. I dressed all 5 of y'all, bro. I dressed 5 every time we stepped out the house. I put an outfit on everybody. I put 8-carat earrings in everybody's ear. I put 3 chains on all y'all neck. We put a Cartier watch. I gave you that chrome Rolex. Bro, you the most, you was watching tables. I wrote that verse when we went on the radar. I put you last on purpose so everyone would say, who the f is that girl? I slowed the beat down. I put 808 specifically on your verse so when it got to your part and the beat dropped, everyone would be like, oh, the girl is the craziest one. I wrote that verse the night before we even went on the radar on my phone. Bro, I got the voice, I got reference. You ain't never wrote no a song in your life. That's why ain't no music came out since you been left. Cause you ain't got no music, cause you can't rap.
This depicted how Karrahbooo's career was supposedly handed to her, as Yachty developed a set path for her to follow. So by her talking down upon his name truly made Yachty mad. To wrap up the Instagram Live, Yachty would reveal how Karrahbooo is $900,000 in debt.
You $900,000 in a hole and I got every receipt.
Now, this was an extremely unfortunate situation for Yachty because he truly wants to aid people's careers in the best way possible. Especially since Yachty put in so much time and money into his prior group, and then they ended up not putting in effort in building up their careers. So seeing a major player within Yachty's new group turning their back on him is probably the worst feeling he ever had. This was apparent too because throughout the whole clip I just played, Yachty seemed to be severely hurt by the whole situation. But sadly, the scenario would not end here, as Yachty went on to post a reference track he made for Karrahbooo's On the Radar freestyle, to prove that he wasn't lying about making songs for Karrahbooo. Now, reference tracks are typically used by artists so they get a better grasp on how they want to sound on the track by hearing someone else on it. So by having Yachty make a reference track for Karrahbooo's freestyle, and she's portraying as if she made that entire freestyle on her own, it really depicts her as having a fake career. After all, she didn't really want to have a rap career as I mentioned earlier, so her allegedly faking her career doesn't seem so far-fetched. In spite of all this, it only allowed fans to not be fond of Karrahbooo, as she seemed to have lied to them about her entire career, with some people saying, "Dang, she was one of my favorites. It's clipped for you now. Go back to being an assistant." Obviously, Yachty exposing her to the world that she is a horrible person and doesn't put in the work for her own career is a terrible look, which is why a few days later, Karrahbooo would actually respond to Lil Yachty's claims of him writing her songs on her Instagram story. As her story reads, "Put it on your kid, I ain't write these songs, Miles. Stop the cap, and leave me out your internet shenanigans. Stop bullying me, big dog. I never said nothing. You letting random fans get in your head. Man up." These words would be accompanied by a picture of her 3 songs, with the streams of her top 2 songs being circled, seemingly alluding to the fact she wrote her top 2 tracks, potentially revealing that Lil Yachty has been lying about the whole situation. So by this point in time, Karrahbooo is claiming that she writes her own music, while Lil Yachty is claiming that he's the one actually writing the songs while she performs them. During this moment in time, there wasn't actual concrete evidence to support either side, but unluckily for Karrahbooo, things were about to get a lot worse, as she couldn't stop herself from repeatedly bashing on both, since a day after her Instagram story, Karrahbooo would be seen saying, "Who ain't write it?" during a festival performance, seemingly responding to the ghostwriting allegations. Unfortunately, her addressing the whole scenario would end up backfiring on her, since many other clips came out depicting the crowd dead and empty, causing fans to say that she ruined her career by getting kicked out of Concrete. Not to mention, people started memeing her Genius interview as she was explaining lyrics that we now know Yachty wrote. Following this, Bolt would eventually clap back at Karrahbooo as he posted on an Instagram story saying, "Don't throw rocks at your own hand," to which Karrahbooo would swiftly respond by declaring, "I never threw rocks, and you have my number, you big grown bee. Leave me alone, literally. I never said nothing about stuff, and I still ain't said nothing about what's really going on. I don't want no beef with you industry people. Just move on with your life. Stop trying to bring me down when I stay out of the way. I'm done talking. You got it. Your character go and speak for itself." Now, this is just odd because Karrahbooo is the one who escalated the situation by claiming that Yachty has kicked her out of Concrete and has been bullying her. This allowed Yachty to prove his innocence and show the world that he's the one ghostwriting her songs, providing Karrahbooo with her biggest song. So her saying that she doesn't want to do anything with Yachty doesn't make any sense. But Karrahbooo wouldn't stop here though, since she went on to post yet another Instagram story saying how she's grateful for the position she's in, as well as accusing Yachty of lying once more. As the story read, "I'll never forget this feeling, this chapter of my life. I'll never be the same. I'll never forget who wasn't there for me. I done chumped people out, spent my last, slapped folks for dudes. I ride every time naturally, but that's just how I am. Nobody owed me stuff. To be honest, I'm just taking a mental note. I can't even look at most people the same way. To know the truth and watch a grown man with 12 million followers overly lie on my name and publicly bully me for literally no reason at all, while I silently been conquering all the stuff dude's been throwing at me this whole time behind closed doors. I'll never ignore the signs again, and I will never stop no matter how much they hate me." Overall, wrapping up the situation, as Karrahbooo has yet to give her side of the story due to her claiming that she's not allowed to. Since the altercation arose, she has yet to drop any new music. Hopefully she's doing alright for herself, as she was clearly going through it throughout the whole situation, and does eventually release new music in the near future. So, to summarize the whole conflict between them, Karrahbooo stated that Yachty and the Concrete Boys has been bullying her, as well as kicked her out of the group. Then Yachty declared that Karrahbooo's statements are false, and that in reality, she's a terrible person behind closed doors, as he claims that she treats people extremely poorly. He also goes on that she's in tremendous debt and that she's very ungrateful, as Yachty practically gave her a platform. It's unfortunate that Yachty's kindness to blow up someone's career ended up disintegrating a relationship between him and one of his artists. But at the end of the day, Yachty just wants to see people win. And if you're not going to put in the effort to develop your career, it's only going to hinder yourself as well as Yachty's career. After all, he's a multi-platinum artist who's been in the game for several years, so being signed under him will provide a great understanding on how the music industry works. Seeing people turn against him or being lazy when he's just trying to help is really just disappointing. Which just leaves one question: should Yachty stop forming new rap groups? To which my answer is yes and no. See, Yachty truly has the love for the game and wants to put the people onto the newer generation of artists. This is something that is very respectable by Yachty, as he doesn't have to put in his time and money into building up a label for people to follow. In fact, in the Instagram live where he was addressing Karrahbooo, he even explained how he wants the label to dress a certain way so they can formulate an image with the brand. Similar to how playboicarti and his label Opium all have a similar style to each other, so they're instantly recognizable amongst the public. However, Yachty needs to surround himself with the right people who will also see his vision when creating these groups, since time and time again he's encountered those who don't truly see his vision and instead end up tearing up what Yachty's trying to build, truly ruining a relationship with Yachty alongside destroying his dream. Luckily for Yachty, the Concrete Boys are still striving for success, as they're still on tour and pulling in numbers, as the artists that are still within the label are still putting in the work to develop their careers. So hopefully one day, Yachty can actually build the empire that he wants.